about now, ladies and gentlemen? How about now? How is my sound? Put a one in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear the sound of my voice. We no sound. Oh, okay, okay. Listen, guys. When you traveling, you got to move your equipment around. You got to move your equipment around. I'm sorry. You can hear me now. Okay, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go over everything that took place today inside of the Patrick Monahan Federal Courthouse as it relates to the picking up the jurors. And yes, I have the official transcript from today hot off the press. We're not going to miss anything. We have it word for word. I told you guys I wouldn't disappoint. I told you that. I told you that. I told you that. I don't need your 12 grand. I don't need your 15 grand. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing the reading. The reading. And this is I want you guys to participate tonight because there's a lot to go over. So make sure you have a glass of water, some popcorn, whatever you need, because we're going to be here for a while. We are going to be here for a while. And I have a special guest coming in tonight to assist with the reading. This is just day one. And you got to remember, this is day one. So there's a lot of things that we have to talk about. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I was talking about a very special someone, but I see a very special someone in the chat. She's been, I don't know where she's been, but I'm so glad to see her. Tiffany, please, is in the building. Oh my God, Tiffany is back. Oh, she's back. Tiffany is back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the biggest trials in American history. And this trial will last, as Judge has said today, up to 8 weeks. And this is the preliminary, I don't want to say preliminary, this is the picking of the jury. This is the picking of the jury. So I need at least 5 volunteers this evening to join in on the reading. I need at least 5 to join in on the reading tonight because there's a lot to go over. So someone's going to play the judge. Someone's going to play Brian Steele. Someone's going to play some major players in this case. So we have a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't want people to think that they missed out on anything because there was a lot said. And it was some interesting things. There's some jurors that have some interesting backgrounds. We learned, and I'll just say this, and we're going to go ahead and read this, but we learned that one juror is employed with HBO and worked on a documentary on the downfall of Diddy. Now, do you think she's going to make it to the final round? Do you think she's going to make it to the final round? So listen, if you have a good microphone and you don't have to get on camera, but I will need you to be able to participate in the reading because there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm going to start it out, but I want you to put a 2 in the chat if you feel confident enough to participate in the reading. Because I can give you a synopsis, but somehow I feel that you're going to miss some things. And when you're talking about 283 pages, there's a lot going on here. So make sure you put a 2 in the chat. Put a 2. Who wants to be Brian Steele? Who wants to be Mr. Agnifilio? Who wants to be Attorney Xavier? They got a brother on. They got listen. They got a brother in the courtroom. They got a brother in the courtroom. They have another lawyer that I announced on Friday. I broke it. I broke it on Friday that they have another. Mr. Xavier Donaldson has joined Puffy's team. So they got a brother back on the team. And when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, these documents ain't cheap. But what we're going to do right now, I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to drop the link. And when I drop the link, I'm going to assign someone to be one of the readers for one. I'm going to just tell that person to take, when I stop reading, that next person will take the lead. And I'm going to drop the link here so we can get this thing, get this thing popping. If you put a 2 in the chat, and you're not going to see this anywhere else, because I got it hot off the press. Once the edit had to be done. They had to make sure the edits were right. And it was right. And I looked at it and I approved this. Click on the link, get in the chat, because in the next few minutes we are going to start this show. And when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be so shocked at exactly what took place today. So the link is there. I'm going to pin the link, or can my mod pin the link? Let's see. I'm just so glad Tiffany Please is in the building. Last time I seen her, it was, I don't know. Yes, we had the transcript from today. I'm getting dailies. I had to get the dailies. I need to make sure that I had the dailies from today. This is today. This is today. And let me just bring this up. Here we go. Bang. Here we go. But hold on. Let me take that off the screen for a second. Hold on. Okay, we have, hold on. We have, okay. How are you?
Hello.
Hold on. Unmute yourself.
Okay, hold on. Not muted. I'm not
I cannot hear
muted.
you. Anyone here?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear. Well, hold on. We can't hear you. Hold on, guys. Better watermark your document. Tiffany, thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany, better watermark you, right? Oh my goodness, Tiffany's right. Tiffany is right. Okay, you're hear her, but I don't hear coming through my computer, which tells me, okay, she should be coming through my computer. Okay, let's see here. She should be coming through my computer because I can't. If I take my mic off, okay. Can you hear me now? I'll tell you what, we're gonna do it like this. Okay. I should be able to hear you now. Okay, exit out and come back in. You can hear, okay. It's just not coming through my system. Okay, click back on the link and I'll bring you in. Click back on the link and I'll bring you in. Guess I need to watermark this here. Stand by. Stand by. Let me watermark this document because she's right. There's a lot of pages here, and yeah, let me watermark this. Let me watermark this. I didn't want to bring Bertha out tonight. I mean, we've been in plays. Listen, we've been working all last week, man. Bertha, well, I didn't bring Bertha to the play, but Bertha has a lot of work to do. We did cover a concert in Atlanta. We flew back to Atlanta to cover a concert, the Cash Money Rough Rider. Well, correction, Cash Money 30th anniversary. Okay, so this is what I'll do here. I'm going to read it, but I won't put it on screen. I'm going to read it. And I won't put it on the screen. That's what I'll do. Okay, so we're going to start out with the I'll tell you, we'll start out 1 second here. Okay, so present today was for the state, for the government, Jay Clayton, United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Madison R. Smizer, Emily A. Johnson, Maureen R. Comey, Meredith Foster, Mitzi Steiner, Mary C. Slavic, and Assistant United States Attorneys. These are all the assistant attorneys in the case. For the defense, Mr. Igniflio Intrater, LLP, attorney for defendant, Mr. Mark A. Igniflio, Ms. Tini R. Garagos, Ms. Sher Tremont, Ms. Ann E. Esteva, Mr. Alex Shapiro, Mr. Jason A. Driscoll. New member of the team is Mr. Xavier R. Donaldson, Mr. Brian Steele. Also present are jury consultants, Paulette Taylor, she's a jury consultant, and Linda Marino, who's a defense jury consultant. So Puffy has 2 jury consultants. Very important. The jury consultants are very important. We've seen in the YSL case they had 1 jury consultant, but in this case they have 2. The court, please be seated. All right, good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for being here early on this glorious Monday. Welcome to the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. My name is Aram Subramanian, and I will be presiding over the trial in this case. This is a criminal case entitled United States of America versus Sean Combs. I expect this trial to run for approximately 8 weeks. I'll have more to say about the schedule in a few moments. Now, before we get started, I want to thank you all for being here. Your presence reflects your serious commitment to your civic responsibilities. Now, I recognize that some of you are inconvenienced by this service. Let's be honest. You are all inconvenienced by this service. Judge has a sense of humor, but jury service is one of the highest and most important duties of a citizen of the United States. As the Supreme Court has recognized, jury service preserves the democratic element of the law as it guards the rights of the parties and ensures continued acceptance of the laws by all of the people. It affords ordinary citizens of a valuable opportunity to participate in the process of government and experience fostering, one hopes, a respect for the law. Indeed, with the exception of voting, for most citizens, the honor and privileges of jury duty is their most significant opportunity to participate in a democratic process. Our system of justice depends on all of you. Now, everyone in the room has already filled out a questionnaire related to the jury service in this case. And I thank you all for doing that. I know it was a long questionnaire. In a few minutes, I will ask you additional questions about your ability to serve. If you have an extraordinarily person hardship, no, that's a typo there. An extraordinary person hardship, it should be personal hardship, that prevents you from serving. In this case, you'll have an opportunity to bring that to my attention. I emphasize the word extraordinary. I know that many of you have jobs or other places that you would rather be. All of you probably have places you would rather be. Unfortunately, it would be hard for us to seat any jury in that were enough to excuse you from service. The parties would not get a fair trial. The hardship must be extraordinary for you to be excused. So I appreciate your full cooperation. Our purpose today is to make sure that we have a jury of citizens who will decide the issues in this case both fairly and impartially and without any bias or prejudice in favor or against either side. In order to do that, I'm coming to ask certain questions of you. It should be, I'm going to ask certain questions of you. Questions about your personal background, your family, your belief and experiences, things of that nature. Due to the nature of this case, some of my questions may be about topics that are difficult to discuss with strangers. Now, you should understand that my questioning is not intended to pry into your lives, but to make sure that we select fair and impartial jurors who can listen to the evidence with an open mind and decide the issues in this case based only on the sworn testimony given in this case, in this courtroom, on whatever exhibits may be received in this evidence, and on my instruction as to the law. So here's how we're going to do this. First, I will ask some questions, one juror at a time, outside of the presence of the other jurors. Once I have spoken to each juror individually, the group will come back together and I will ask some questions that will be answered in front of the group. If during this process you would prefer not to answer a question in the open court because it deals with a sensitive personal issue, just let me know and we will address the question out of the earshot of everyone else with just me. Okay, stand by, stand by. Apologize for that. Uh, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I have Attorney Pam. I'm live, Attorney Pam. You can join the. I'm live right now, Pam. Uh, thank you. I'll call you back. All right, guys. I do apologize for that. Stand by. Stand by. We're gonna put our phone on silent. We'll put our phone on silent. We're gonna turn our phone off. How about that? That should not have been on. Stand by, guys. Let me go ahead and see if because I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I'm going to look at the chat real quick. All right, guys, we're going to continue. We are going to continue. We are going to continue. If during this process you would prefer not to answer a question in open court because it deals with a sensitive personal issue, just let me know and we will address the question out of the earshot of everyone else with just me, a couple of lawyers from each side in this case, and the court reporter. Hey, court reporter. Okay, here we go. Let's turn these pages here. And you should know that the transcript of what you will be, this is cut off. And you should know that the transcript of what you will say will be visible only to the people who are in this courtroom, the parties themselves. Okay, so this transcript has, ladies and gentlemen, this transcript has not been redacted. This is an actual transcript that has not been redacted. And I may come across some information that I may have to pause on revealing because I don't see any redactions in this transcript. The court. Now, from your answers to my questions, I will be able to determine whether you should be excused for cause. That means for a good reason. Your answers will also allow the parties to make informed use of their peremptory challenges. Peremptory challenges give each party the right to excuse a certain number of jurors without giving any reason for doing so. My questions to you and your answers to them are not evidence in this case and should not regard them as having any bearing in this case. Do not consider that a reflection on your on you personally. This is all part of our system of justice, which is intended to provide all parties with a fair and impartial trial. You will have done your duty by your presence here and your readiness to serve. So before we proceed, let me give you a brief summary of the case as you have some sense of what's about to happen as we go through jury selection. As I told you a moment ago, nothing I say is evidence. The evidence that you will consider, if selected as a juror, will come from the trial testimony of witnesses and from the exhibits that are admitted into evidence. This is a criminal case. It is entitled United States of America versus Sean Combs. There is one defendant on trial, Sean Combs. He has also been known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, PD, and Love. The defendant has been charged in an indictment alleging the commission of federal crimes. An indictment is a formal method of accusing a defendant of a crime. The indictment itself is not evidence. It simply contains the charges that the government is required to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant has pleaded not guilty to those charges and he is presumed to be innocent. The presumption of innocence remains with him now and throughout the trial. The presumption of innocence is removed only if at the conclusion of the case, after you have heard all the evidence and arguments and my instructions on the law, you decide the government has proven the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You must keep in mind always that the defendant is presumed innocent, that he has entered a plea of not guilty to the charge against him, and the government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt the charges in the indictment. They must prove it. They must prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I will summarize the charges now so that we can determine whether you have any personal knowledge of them. The indictment contains 5 counts or charges. Count 1 charges that from at least in or about 2004 through in or about 2024, the defendant participated in a racketeering conspiracy during which he agreed with other employees and associates of his businesses to commit kidnapping, arson, bribery of a witness, obstruction of justice, drug distribution, forced labor, sex trafficking, and transportation for the purposes of engaging in prostitution. Count 2 charges the defendant with sex trafficking an adult female victim throughout force, fraud, and coercion between in or about 2009 and in or about 2018. Count 3 charges the defendant with transporting the female victim and male commercial sex workers to engage in prostitution between in or about 2009 to in or about 2018. Count 4 charges the defendant with sex trafficking a second adult female victim through force, fraud, and coercion between in or about 2021 and in or about 2024. Count 5 charges the defendant with transporting the second female victim and male commercial sex workers to engage in prostitution between in or about 2021 and in or about 2024. Mr. Combs denies these allegations and he has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about our schedule in this case. Although you've read a lot about what I'm about to say in your presence or in your questionnaire, I expect to complete jury selection by the end of this week. If you are selected for jury, you will return on Monday, May 12th. That's the next Monday, which is when trial will begin. We will sit every weekday until trial is over, with the exception of the holidays that were noted in your questionnaires. The Friday before Memorial Day, Juneteenth, and Independence Day. Counsel have advised that they expect this trial to be over before July 4th, Independence Day. I share that expectation. Now, obviously, it is not possible to predict exactly how long the trial will last. So it is possible that the trial could last a little longer, although I do not expect that it will. The first week of trial, starting May 12th, we'll go from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Every week after that, we will go each day from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. So that's interesting, ladies and gentlemen. The judge in this particular case is going to give the jurors a little break, at least 2 hours every day after the first week. And that's important because it's a lot of information that they're going to have to absorb. And I think not putting too much pressure on the jurors to retain all this information while they're going to have notepads, I think is a good thing that the judge is not dragging this from 9 to 5:30 every day. And it's good for us too, because we're going to be outside or inside or wherever we plan on being. So let me see if I'm going to read the comments real quick because I'm actually toggling between the document because I'm not putting it on the screen. Are you guys, put a 1 in the chat, you guys are keeping up. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys are keeping up. Put a 1 in the chat because I'm about to put this on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. Let me drop that link. Let me drop that link again because I hadn't tweeted this out, but I'm going to drop the link. If you want to join in, you can come and join in. Well, you know, I would have to share the document, so I guess I'm gonna have to do the reading myself. I don't have a watermark, so I don't have it watermarked, so I'm going to continue reading myself, and then I'll watermark it and then I'll make it available on my next live. Okay, here we go. Now we are doing that on those following weeks to see if we can get everyone a little time in the afternoon to attend to their personal affairs so that we're not here every day until 5 p.m. We want to be as flexible as we can to allow the jurors to attend to the important things that they have in their lives. And we'll try to make your trial experience as pleasant as possible. Now, before we proceed any further, because we are going to be asking each of the jurors questions, I'm going to ask my courtroom deputy to swear in the potential jurors we have in today. So, Mr. Courtroom Deputy, can you please continue? The deputy. Yes, Your Honor. I will first ask out of the prospective jurors, is there anyone who do not swear an oath but will affirm? If I can have a show of hands, I do not see any hands. So if you don't believe in God, then you may not want to participate in that process. And I'm saying that, ladies and gentlemen. There's one hand. What I will ask you to do is hold on for a moment, stay seated, and we will have you affirm afterwards. So there's one person. Can I have everyone else please rise and raise your right hand? The deputy. Thank you. You may be seated. He obviously swears them in. And now I will ask everyone who does not swear an oath, if you could please stand so I can affirm you, and please raise your right hand. Prospective juror is affirmed. Deputy, thank you. You may be seated. The court, thank you very much. Now you have all received a list of questions. Is there anyone who does not have the list of questions? It looks like everyone has the list. So please take a look at it right now. Now, under the heading sequestered questions, there are 14 yes/no questions listed. Now, in a moment, you will all be escorted across the hall back to the courtroom 26B. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, they're in 26A. When the deputy calls your juror number, you will be directed to come back to this courtroom, which is courtroom 26A. Now, while you are waiting to be called, what I will ask you to do is circle with a pencil that you have been provided any of the sequestered questions that you have a yes answer to. When you come back to this courtroom, I will simply ask you if you had yes answer to any of the 14 questions, or if there is anything to be brought to my attention in response to those questions. And just so we're all on the same page, I will read now the 14 questions so that you had them read to you. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat and around the world. Question 1. Is there any answer in your questionnaire that is inaccurate or that you would like to add to or change? Question 2. Is there any additional information you know about this case that is not reflected on the questionnaire? Question 3. Since you filled out the questionnaire, have you read, heard, or otherwise become aware of any information about this case? Question 4. Have you or anyone close to you had training, experience, or specialized knowledge in A, sexual assault or harassment training, B, domestic violence training, C, psychiatry or psychology, D, security services, E, addiction treatment or counseling. F, law or law enforcement. Question 5, have you or anyone close to you worked with or for any federal, state, or local law enforcement agency in any capacity, including as a contractor? Question 6, do you have any views about prosecutors or law enforcement that would prevent you from being fair and impartial in this case? Question 7, do you have any views about criminal defense attorneys that would prevent you from being fair and impartial in this case? Question 8, have you or anyone close to you ever been involved in a legal action, lawsuit, or court case? And was there anything, if you answer yes, about the experience that would prevent you from being fair and impartial in this case? Question 9, have you or anyone close to you ever been the subject of an investigation or accusation by a grand jury? Question 10, have you or anyone close to you ever been a victim of a crime? What was the outcome of any related law enforcement action? Question 11, do you have any feelings, beliefs, or experiences concerning the topics listed below that would prevent you from being fair and impartial in this case? A, allegations of violence, including intimate partner violence and other assaults. B, allegations of sexual assault, including rape. C, allegations of hiring of commercial sex workers. D, allegations of multiple sex partners. E, allegations of infidelity. F, allegations concerning firearms. G, allegations concerning the distribution and use of illegal drugs. Question 12, do you have any feelings, beliefs, or experiences about the following group of people for or against that would prevent you from fairly and impartially evaluating their testimony? A, law enforcement personnel. B, artists in the hip hop community. C, alleged victims of sexual assault, sexual abuse, and or sex trafficking. D, witnesses testifying under a grant of immunity, that is witnesses whose testimony cannot be used against them in any future prosecution. E, witnesses referred to in open court as a pseudonym, that is under a different name, whose full name are known to the government, the defense, the court, and the jury. 13, have you been through a traumatic event that would prevent you from being able to listen to the witnesses who may say they went through traumatic events? 14, apart from any prior question, is there any reason whatsoever that you would not be able to serve consciously, fairly, and impartially in this case, and to render a true and just verdict without fear, favor, sympathy, bias, or prejudice, and according to the law, as I will explain it to you? And those are, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section, and they're watching. As I read those 14 questions, I can glean from what type of testimony that will likely be introduced to in this case. So we know that there are going to be victims who are not actually he's charged with. They're going to be under a pseudonym, so their names are going to be shielded. We also know that there are going to be some testimony from members of the hip hop community. What type of testimony, we don't know yet. But there's a lot to glean from just those 14 questions. And we're going to get into some things. But let me read the comment section real quick here. Wait, hold on. Oh, listen, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. My mods don't block them. But what I want to do is make sure everyone's, I'm not trying to, it's a lot of pages here, a lot of pages here. I don't want you guys to think that, listen, I'll zoom in, I'll put my face in the camera, whatever I need to do, but let's have some fun here, okay? Who's that anyway? Okay, listen. If you want me to stop, put a 1 in the chat. If you want me to continue on, because it's getting good here. If you want me to continue on, put a 2 here. That's it. Because if you're not with, listen, or you might be one of the trolls. I ain't gonna say the person's name. Appreciate the super sticker. Yo, Rachel, don't be a troll, Rachel. Listen, I want to say this. I'm gonna be serious here. There's a lot of things that you guys are about to hear that may be a little troubling. And I want to caution what you're about to hear. It's not for the weak. And the judge is going to tell the jurors this because he said it today. But this is a very serious topic, and it's going to be, and as I read some of it, I'm mindful that there are people that have experienced some of the things that these jurors are going to have to judge on, not judge on, but have to, make a decision on. But, this is verbatim. You guys want it raw, and I'm going to give it to you raw. If you're okay with that, I'll carry on. If you're not, I'll take this to the membership section, and then, my members can handle it. But if you can handle this, I'll continue. Put a 2 in there. Let me know. I see 1, 2. If you want me to continue, I'll continue because there's a lot. There's a lot to read here. It's a whole lot. I'm gonna wait. Everyone but Rachel can respond. All right, guys, here we go. We'll go back. Don't block anyone. If they get crazy, just put them on the timeout. Don't block anyone. I'm tired of unblocking people. They send me the emails. Mr. Bird, please unblock me. Well, how did you get blocked? Here we go. Hold on. There we go. Someone said, how many pages is it? It's 283 pages. 283. Come on. Here we go. Let me go back. Let me go back to All right, here we go. All right. Now, thank you for that. When you are called back, you'll also be provided a list of people and places. And I will ask you if you recognize any person or place on that list. Now, it is vital that you provide truthful answers to the questions. They are not meant to embarrass you in any way, but only to elicit the basic information necessary to permit the parties and the court to make an informed choice of jurors in this case. Again, if during this process you would prefer not to answer a question in open court because it deals with a sensitive personal issue, just let me know and we will address the question out of the earshot of everyone else with just me, a couple of lawyers from each party, and the court reporter. After we talk here in the courtroom with individual questioning, you'll return back to the courtroom 26B. After we have finished talking to all of you individually, we will ask some of you to return to this courtroom for further questions. If you are not asked to return, you are excused. In other words, get to stepping. I just added that. The judge didn't say that. If you are excused, Please return your papers and jury card to the deputy and go downstairs to the jury assembly room where you will receive further instructions. If you are not seated on the jury, I thank you for your service. At this time, I'll ask the courtroom deputy to escort the jurors back to courtroom 26B. Okay, this is happening in open court without the jurors present, ladies and gentlemen. The court, please be seated. All right. Now it's my understanding, and I will just confirm with the court reporter that we have resolved the issue concerning the ceiling. So I think that's what's going to happen is that when we have a sidebar, the outside the courtroom feed will be turned off. So that the parties, including Mr. Combs, should be able to see on the transcript what's being addressed. And then when we return back to open court, the outside the courtroom feed will be turned back on. Does that meet with everyone's approval? So, ladies and gentlemen, and this is my people I'm talking to here, there are overflow rooms set up for the media that is on a different floor. And there's no video in those overflow rooms right now. Now, next week when the trial starts, they may have video because in federal court, when they have overflow rooms, there's video. So in this particular case, there's no video yet. Hopefully, there will be video. There's no reason not to have video because no one has phones in the overflow room, so no one can take pictures. They can just take notes and everything. So hopefully that will be addressed. It should have been addressed over the weekend, but I'll check tomorrow to see whether or not the video is going to be on in the overflow room because there's a lot of media that is covering this. And at times, as I'm reading, I'm gonna take a break and just see if you guys have any questions. So this is that moment where I take a comfort break and see if you guys have any questions. Stop unblocking them. Okay. Let's see. There wasn't an issue with the video. There was no video. So we don't know if that was intentional or not. So we'll see how this plays out. This is just Monday. We have another at least 2 more days and maybe the entire week of jury selection. We'll know that. We don't know just yet. Let's see here before I continue. Hold on. Because this is about to get real interesting. I want to make sure I shout out. Let's see. I'm shout out D. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Mr. Pavlova. Appreciate the super sticker. Okay, you guys, listen. You guys are not showing that love. Where the love at? I did the hard work, ladies and gentlemen. I did the hard work. Come on now. I did the hard work. And listen, I've been up all day. I get up at 6 in the morning. Today I got up at 5 in the morning. But this stuff is good. This is some good stuff here. Here we go. We'll go back to the. Okay, now I'm going to bring in Twitter audience right now. Stand by. I didn't bring them in yet. We'll bring them in now. All right. You may get a little crowded in the room, so stand by. All right, we're going to continue right now. Okay, for those who are joining in, this is the transcript reading from today and the first day of jury selection for those who are joining in. And we're just a few pages in, and we got a few more to go. I can hang in as long as you guys can hang in. I'll stop and give me a cup of coffee. Room service, I need some coffee. Let's go. Okay. The court, please be seated. All right. Now it's my understanding, and I will just confirm with the court reported that we have resolved the issue concerning the ceiling. So I think what's going to happen is that when we have a sidebar, the out of the courtroom feed will be turned off so that the parties, including Mr. Combs, should be able to see on the transcript what's being addressed. And then when we return back to the open court, the out of the courtroom feed will be turned back on. Does that meet with everybody's approval? Mr. Comey, Miss Comey, yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Niflio, understood. The court. And did I get that right, Madam Court Reporter? The court reporter. Judge, I believe it is turned off completely for the outside feed for today. The court. I think that is fine. Does anyone have an issue with that? The outside the courtroom will be turned off for purposes of voir dire, so we can make sure Mr. Combs can hear what's happening at the sidebar. Ms. Comey, no, Your Honor. Obviously, copies of the transcript, the public portions, will be available to the public once the transcript is completed. So I think that's fine. And obviously, I have the transcript, ladies and gentlemen. I have the transcript. And this happened today. So I got it very soon thereafter. The court, all right. And thank you to the court reporter for clarifying that. With that, any issues to raise before we bring in our first juror? Hearing nothing, let's bring in juror number 2, the deputy clerk. Your Honor, I request 1 minute so I can print something out, please. The court. Okay, Ms. Comey. And Your Honor, I just want to confirm that the second juror will then be also brought forward to the anti-chamber to read the list of people and places. The court. So as a member of our staff has the binder, so a member of our staff has the binder and will be waiting with the next juror. Who is juror number 4? Ms. Comey, thank you. Pause. The juror is present right now. The court, please come up. And ma'am, the marshal, she's the sketch artist, Your Honor. The court, you're in exactly the right place. Would you like to stand up here? It would be closer to everything that's going on. The delays because our first juror is reviewing the people and places list. So, Mr. Anifio, can we have a 3-minute bathroom break, Judge? I'm sorry to delay things before we have one juror in the box. The court, of course, Mr. Anifio, it will be fast. And I feel him because I got to do one right now. The court, are you ready to go or waiting for anybody else? Ms. Comey, I think we're ready to go, Your Honor. We just wanted to confirm for the people and the places list, the juror can identify the number and not the name because there's names of people testifying under pseudonyms on the list. So we want to make sure. The court, do you have another copy of the binder? Ms. Comey, I think we gave the 2 binders. The court, well, I need one. Ms. Comey, we do, Your Honor. The court, you can leave it up there. Ms. Comey, thank you, Your Honor. The court, let's go back on the record and we'll bring in juror number 2. Mr. Ignifio. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, the jurors present. The court, come on in. You can go right around. Sir, just take a seat. Welcome to welcome to you and thank you for being here today. Juror, thank you. You're welcome. The court. So first, I know that you had a chance to review the list of people and places, and there should be a copy there that you can take a look at. Juror, the court, just using the numbers if you could, were there any people and places that you knew or of or had any relationship with, etc.? Juror, yes. Number 88. The court, okay, give me a second to go there. All right. And as to number 88, Michael B. Jordan, is there any what's your knowledge of that person? Juror, I believe he's an actor. The court, other than knowing he's an actor, is there anything else you know? Juror, nothing else. The court, please continue. Juror, sorry, number 117. The court, 117? Oh, okay. The court, excuse me, juror, who was sorry? The court, Mike Myers. Juror, Mike Myers, the actor, comedian. The court, same thing? Juror, yes. The court, next. Juror, sorry, I just dropped the list. 186. The court, same thing as to prior to? Juror, yes. The court, all right. Juror, 190. The court, same as prior to 3? Juror, yes, correct. I think that was all. Yes, that was all. The court, okay. Juror, then places. The court, places, let's go. Juror, number 3. The court, all right. The Essex House Hotel. Juror, I used to work in that hotel. Ooh. The court, all right. Now, is there anything in your employment at the Essex House Hotel that you believe, having heard the summary of the case, would make you unfair or partial? Juror, no. The court, to one side or the other? Juror, no. The court, all right. Juror, also number 9, the same. I used to work in that building. The court, and by the way, during what period of time were you working at the Essex House Hotel? Juror, the last I worked in the Essex House would have been October of 2024. The court, okay. And in the course of your employment there, did you hear about anything? Juror, I'm sorry, 2023. So you didn't work in 24, you worked in 2023. The court, 2023, thank you. In the course of your employment there, did you hear anything about the allegations that are at issue in this case? Juror, no. Interesting. The court, what's next? Juror number 9. Juror number 9. The court, the penciler. Juror, yes. The court, same question. When is the last time you worked there? Juror, I have not been there since I believe it was 2010. The court, 2010, same question. Anything during the course of your employment there? Did you hear anything about the allegations that are at issue in this case? Juror, no, not at all. The court, all right. Anything else? Juror, that's all. The court, okay, thank you. And you also have the questions that I have read out early today. Juror, The court, did you have any yes answers to those questions? Juror, the only yes I had was number 4A. The court, okay. Juror, that's just basic sexual harassment training for my job. The court, in the workplace? Juror, yes. The court, and what's your Can you summarize generally the nature of your employment? Juror, yes, I'm a licensed massage therapist. The court, so as a massage therapist, you worked in the Essex House Hotel and the Peninsula Hotel? Juror, correct. Interesting. The court, and you received general sexual harassment training in your role? Juror, yes. The court, anything in that harassment training that you feel like would make you, would prevent you from being fair and impartial in this case? Juror, no. The court, did you have any other yes answers? The juror, no. The court, so now I'm going to move very briefly to your questionnaire and ask you about, do you have your questionnaire? Juror, yes. The court, and I'm going to ask you about question 10. Juror, okay. The court, and can you explain the yes answer that you have here? And is there any reason why you can't discuss this in open court? Is that fine? Juror, no, no reason. The court, okay, so you indicate that your sister was beaten by her first husband. When did that occur? Juror, that was a very long time ago, 40 years ago or more. The court, okay. Juror, yeah. The court, and could you tell us a little more about that, what happened? Juror, I don't know exactly. I know he was he assaulted her, gave her a black eye, beat her, that resulted in the termination of their marriage. The court, okay. Now, is there anything in that incident that would prevent you from being fair and impartial in this case? Juror, no. The court, you understand that this case presents different people, a different situation, and you're able to be fair and impartial in the judge and judge this case based on the evidence presented here? Juror, yes. The court, all right, I'm going to ask you about question 27. And this is about knowledge about the case. And you indicate that you've heard basic mention of this case on WNYC radio or NPR. Juror, yes. The court. And on question 27, you say you're unsure whether you're personally formed any opinion about Mr. Combs' guilt or innocence, and you give an explanation of why that's so. Could you just explain that a little more in detail? Juror, well, unsure in that I have not heard any sort of detailed information. I mean, we haven't heard any testimony. I'm just saying, unsure that I don't really have any facts at this point. The court, all right, juror, to make any kind of decision. So the court, and you can decide the case based solely on the evidence that is presented at the trial, and not anything you might have seen, heard, or read outside of the courtroom. Juror, yes. The court, will anything that you have seen, heard, or read about this case or Mr. Combs affect your ability to be fair and impartial? Juror, no. The court, you understand that Mr. Combs is presumed innocent? Juror, yes. The court, and that the government must prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt? Juror, yes. The court, will you be able to follow my instructions on the law even if they conflict with your personal views or beliefs? Juror, yes. Interesting. I'm gonna hold it right there, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section. Hold on here. I have an attorney is about to join me. Stand by. All right, listen. Oh, Ike's there. Okay, so wants to drop the link for Ike. Okay, okay. Okay, Ike just sent me a text too. I want to talk about that juror briefly. I want to talk about that juror. I want to ask the question: do you guys have any concern of that particular juror, potential juror, getting on the panel? And if so, why? Leave a comment in the comment section. Why would you have an issue with this particular juror, or why won't you have an issue with this particular juror? Some of the things that stood out for me is the assault of his sister's husband. That stood out for me. I don't know. Some people, I'm not going to imply that this person really want to get on the jury, but I dropped the link for Ike. Okay, let me pin that again. The link is dropped. Let me just pin that. Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna pin that link. I'm gonna drop the link again. The massage background is interesting. And apparently he works in various hotels. Do you think? Okay, Ike's watching, so I'm trying to. Oh, I see it right there. Ike, oh,
Let me in. Let me in.
Ike, so good evening, Ike, ladies and gentlemen. Ike's in the building.
Good evening, people. What's going on?
So Ike, I'm going to send you the transcript because we can't. It's not watermarked, so I'm going to tell you where I'm at on it.
How many pages is it?
Oh, you know, this is a daily 283.
I don't know. That's why I'm trying to calculate this. Let me see what this court reporter made today. Y'all know they get paid by the page, right?
Yeah, I trust me, I know.
So you told the people that is a good profession.
Right.
Court reporter.
Please, you practice law in federal courts. Can you let the people know that these dailies are not cheap?
They are not cheap. Listen, I'm talking so expedited because it's daily, probably $8 a page. Probably
a little less than that. I got the hookup.
$7 a page. You got the copy rate because sometimes they give you a discount because you're getting copies. You're not getting you're not getting the original. So they might give you the copy rate. So you might get it for $6 a page. I know.
Absolutely. So I want the people to understand that the dailies, and first of all, why would you as an attorney ask for dailies?
Oh, so you can review what happened in the courtroom. Oftentimes, there are things that happen that you miss. There's so many moving parts that you're trying to keep track of, right? And so you want those dailies so you can review what was said, so you can prepare for the next day. There's no speculation. The last trial I had, we got dailies, which was a godsend because the witness didn't remember what she said the day before when she came and testified. So when I was impeaching her, her lawyer was like, "That's not what she said." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, that's exactly what the fuck she said." Except
I got the dailies.
Line, right? You didn't get dailies, you cheap bastard. I got the dailies, and that's exactly what she said. So, for those purposes, you want it for that reason.
Right.
And those you show up your credibility in front of the jury too, because some lawyer is going to be like, "That's not what she said," and you're like, "Yes, the fuck it is." What's up, family? Y'all know I'm sorry, I'm not.
And for me, even though I take good notes, I don't get every word verbatim.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
That's why shorthand comes into play.
No way. Yeah. This is the best way to do it. You better go, Dennis, getting dailies. Sucking now.
So I had them Friday as well. I was on it.
I saw you reading them in the front of the courthouse.
Yeah. You like the backdrop?
Oh, yeah. I was like, look at Dennis on the street, roving reporter.
Oh yeah. Next week is I won't feel like I'm covering the O.J. Simpson trial next week. That's how.
So did you talk about? I know I'm late. I was doing a review session with my class because they have their final on Wednesday. So we were just doing that. But did you talk about the differences in jury selection between the state and federal?
I didn't go into that because I wanted to leave that to the expert.
Okay. Did you know? I mean, how much of the voir dire are the lawyers doing? And when I said how much of these questions are being asked by the attorneys?
We'll see that in the transcript.
You reading them, right? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
well, we didn't get to that point yet. We didn't get to that point.
Okay.
We didn't get to that point yet.
Okay. So I anticipate that it's the court that's doing most of the inquiry.
Yes, right now.
Asking most of the questions.
First round, yes.
Yeah, because that's typically federal court. It's you do not have the same type of leeway in jury selection that you do in state court, where you actually get to talk to the jurors for, the first round, at least to give you 20 minutes. And then every subsequent round is less than that.
I always wondered, why is that? Why does it differ in that manner from state to federal?
Everything is different in the federal court. Everything is different.
What's the reason behind that? Do you think they don't want the lawyers to have more that kind of contact with the jurors?
It's just a more controlled environment.
Control. Okay. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. So what I'm going to do is, because it's not watermarked, I'm going to send you the transcript right now.
Bring them on. Send them on. Send them on. Send them on. And full disclosure, I do know the new attorney that is on the case. My boy Xavier Donaldson.
Yeah, he came in on Friday. I announced it on Friday.
Yeah, great attorney, New York attorney, extensive state and federal practice experience. I feel like he's an adjunct somewhere too. He teaches. I know he does the lecture circuit. He does the talking and making his rounds or on this panel and that panel. Good brother. Has a son in college, married, long time, Black woman, gotta throw that in there.
Hey,
but good brother. I got a good story about X too.
Okay. So this is good.
Good story.
When I saw the his name coming, because I was in the court on Friday. I saw when he filed his notice of appearance. Right. I said, okay, but I didn't pull his picture. Then when you told me today, you said, hey, okay.
Pulled it up, right? He talking to you, Dennis. You like, is he black? I'm like, he blackity black. All right. He's a tall, he's an imposing figure, right? Tall brother, over 6 feet, very statuesque. He's got that real chocolate, like seal color, deep, beautiful complexion.
Hey, I'm getting jealous here.
No, anyway, good brother.
Okay, so where I'm at now is the first juror has been called in to answer some of the questions that was on the questionnaire, and the judges, just kind of polling him on his responses to certain questions. We learned this juror is a physical therapist. He had training on sexual harassment. He also heard about the case by watching a local radio station. He also had a sister that was assaulted by her husband. And I think I don't know how long you joined in.
But did he say he could be fair and impartial?
He said all that. He said all that.
Well, then no for-cause challenge for his ass.
Right.
Did they say how many peremptory challenges that each side has?
They did, but we get into that.
Listen, you gotta have answers when I come on here, right?
No, I got a transcript. I got more answers.
People want answers.
They're gonna have.
I came to ask the questions for the people.
They gotta hang in there. So let me email this to you real quick so you can pull it up.
Really? I don't really want to do that.
You want to just post it?
All right.
Because my moderators told me that don't post it because someone else will grab it and read it and not show that. Yeah.
Well, you know
No.
that's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah.
Eventually.
These things expensive now.
Emailed them, or you put it in WhatsApp, or you dropped it somewhere. What you
I'm gonna
did?
send you the email right now.
You gonna
Send it
send
to you
it to
right
my
now.
email right now?
You want to text me the email you want to send it to, or just send the one I want to send it to?
You could text it, drop it in WhatsApp.
Oh, I can drop it right there. I can send it in your phone right now. Stand by.
Okay.
Stand right here. Let me just grab it here and drop it. I'll drop this thing like it's hot. Hold on. Let's see here. Grab this for you. This PDF here. Bring you up here. I got it here. And I'll tell you what page we're on in a second.
Where you putting it? Where you sending it through?
I'm texting it to you right now.
Texting it.
Texting it to you right now. I'll grab the one. I have two.
I went got a new phone for them tariffs hit. Hey.
Oh, really?
I had listen. I had a 12 because I'll be resistant to change.
Yeah.
But
I'll have mine until you get out of office. Just kidding.
Listen, I was trying to hold on, but then the battery stopped charging. You know how that shit goes.
Oh yeah.
They gonna make me buy a new one. So I got the 16 now. I'm legit.
Oh, you official tissue.
Official. This joint a little heavy though. It's heavier than the other one. I ain't get nothing yet, Dennis.
I just sent it to you. It's coming in now. You should see it right there.
All right, I got something.
You see it?
Uh-huh.
And I'll tell you what page I'm on. I'll tell you what page I'm on.
I wish those days would come back much more.
I'm on page 24.
Of 28?
I'm on page 24 of the document I just sent you.
Yeah, this document it says 28 pages. So you on 24 of 28?
On this one, yeah, I have another one. Yep.
I'm about to say, I knew it was a trick. But I see in the comments people were saying just read the good parts.
You don't know what the good parts are. You just got no. Don't forget, listen. They can. You can put on music, or whatever. We're gonna read everything. We don't miss nothing.
All right, page 24. Let me see. You don't like when I read. You say I read too fast.
No, you go ahead. People keep up.
I gotta get to it. 24. Why my phone doing it like
24. We go line number 9. Page 24, line number 9.
Why is I don't know why I can't make this go down. Oh, here we go. Close. That's not closing it.
Line number 9 is juror answers yes. Juror, yes.
Yeah, I said I got a new phone. I don't know how to work this shit yet. Okay. Let me open this in books.
Okay, so let me continue reading until and then you stop me when you get it open.
I got it open.
You have it open?
I got it open. You said line 24. Yes. I mean line 9, page 24, line 9.
Yes, correct.
All right. The court. Well, that may be true, but let me ask a few questions. Are you planning to address victim number 3 or the allegations related to her in open statements? Ms. Comey. And you already said that who she is, right?
Wait, hold on. Time out. Hold on a second. I want to make sure you got the right document because you're on page 24, line number 9, correct?
Yeah.
Line number 9 says juror, yes. Is that what you have?
Page 24, line number 9 says no. Says few questions. Well, that may be true, but let me ask you a few questions.
Well, time out. Let me give you the other document because I have 2 pages. You got the wrong one. I'm sorry.
I got them. You hear that? You hear that? Blame is so ugly.
Oh, so the file. Let me ask you a question, Ike, real quick. Ike, the file number that you have, what's the number on that file number that I sent you?
2.
Okay, yeah. I need to send you 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why you have 2. Don't go with yeah. I didn't even read 2 yet. Hold on. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this in real time. So I'm gonna send you 2 right now.
True. True.
Hold
You
on.
should be 1.
Yeah, I'm about to send 1 now. Yeah, you have 2. Let me close that up. I dragged the one over. There we go. It's coming up. Make sure I get to the right.
Please let her read faster.
Well, let's see. Here we go. There you go. Okay, you have the second one.
I got the first one now. Now I
Sure.
got the PS1. Let me put this
Okay.
in. Let me open this in books. Open in books.
That's it. You said 28 pages. I'm like, what are you looking at?
Okay.
That's the second. Oh my goodness.
Wish those days would.
Appreciate you guys' patience. I appreciate you. I really do.
Okay, hold on. 24. You said 24, line 9 should say victim 3.
On page 24, line number 9, it says juror answer yes.
Oh, sorry, that's 23. Fuck. No, I'm looking at the wrong shit. I really need to. Dennis, you sure you're not sending me the same shit again?
No, you look at your file numbers. They're different. Well, let me continue. Because I got
You
people.
go ahead, I'll catch up.
Okay, juror, yes. The court, will you be able to follow my instructions on the law, even if they conflict with your personal views or beliefs? Juror, yes. The court, thank you very much. And at this time, I will ask you to just return back to the courtroom 26B. Juror, okay. The juror's not present now. The court, and we should have the next juror ready. Just give us 1 second. Mr. Aniflio, Your Honor, before the next juror comes in,
This is
just
the exact same thing you sent me, even though I have the different file number. It's it's the exact same thing, Dennis.
I don't know how that is because I just you're on
Go
page
ahead. I'm
the page
following. I
the,
don't
the,
have what you
the
have.
page number on the upper right hand corner should say 24.
Yeah, I'm on 24, and my line 9 on this 24 is the court starts at line 8. Well, that may be true, but let me ask you a few questions. That's
Okay,
not.
so the document I'm looking at now has 280 pages.
Yeah, no.
Yours doesn't, correct?
It's the same document has 28 pages.
Okay, so stand by because I downloaded two.
Exactly. Yeah, these are the same documents. I don't know why they have different names, but
The
same.
file size. Oh, guess what? I found it. I found it, Ike. I found it. It was
Okay.
buried. I found it. I promise you, this one's the right one. I promise you.
Right.
I promise you. I promise you, Ike. Here, here we gonna pull it over here now. Back here. I'll pull that over there.
Ooh, my battery dying.
Your battery can't die, Ike. You
My
gotta. How you
percent.
gonna have a new phone? Your battery dead. What they sold you?
I didn't charge it. I got 20%, but you know it's new, so that should be good for the rest of the night.
Allegedly. You got one of those China batteries or one of those American ones?
Now I got.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
I got it.
Let me see if I can copy that and just paste it over here. All right, here we go. Let's see that.
What's up, son?
Hello.
Here you go, Ike. There you go. The last one is there.
Something came through. Okay. Okay. That looks like something. Okay, now we cooking with gas.
Okay.
Now, now. Okay. All right, go ahead. I'll catch you up now. I gotta get to page 24.
We're on page 24, and we are where we are here. Okay, let's see here.
Damn
So
glasses.
they asked for a minute. Go to 20, line 18 of page 24. You can take it from there.
All right. 21, 22, 20. All right. 24, line 8.
18.
All right. The court. And we should have the next juror ready. Just give us 1 second. Pause. Agniflo. Your Honor, before the next juror comes in, just very, very briefly, the court. That's what I'm doing. Making sure everyone understands what we're doing. We're going to take a break. Oh, sorry. We're going to take a beat and continue. So I will hear you, but just give me a second, Mr. Agniflo. Sure, of course. The court. All right. As to juror number 2, are there any challenges for cause? Miss Comey. Not from the government, Your Honor. Agniflo. Your Honor, we do have a challenge for cause, Your Honor, in connection with the juror's answer to question number 2 in the questionnaire. Now, the juror did say that he could put things out of his mind. We all heard him say that. My concern is that in the written questionnaire, he also said that the evidence and testimony presented thus far against Mr. Combs indicates that he is likely to be at least involved in many of the activities alleged against him. And we didn't probe. And I didn't want to interrupt Your Honor to ask Your Honor to do it. We didn't probe why he wrote that, but that's a very specific and I think a difficult answer that the jury gave in the answers to the written question. And so I would ask either that we follow up and ask specifically about that answer or that the answer be allowed to stand, which would, I think, eliminate this juror for cause. The court. Well, in the question that you identified, the juror also says that the prior statement that you just referred to would not affect my ability to form my own opinion based on evidence and testimony presented in a trial. And in the courtroom, he further said that again and answered in the affirmative to the question that I asked him. So I don't think that we need to recall that juror to explain that statement. I think that fairly read, he says that given what he heard outside the courtroom, it might lead to one conclusion, but he's going to make his decision based on based and form it should be in from his inform his opinion based on what he hears in the courtroom, which is also what he said in the courtroom. So I'll overrule the application and the juror will not be excused for cause. Of course, he can be the subject of a peremptory challenge if the defense prefers. So with that, let's bring in the juror number 4. Deputy Clerk. Yes, Your Honor. Juror present. Welcome. This is the court. Please come in. You can cross right over. Good morning. You can take a seat. And do you see a microphone there? Just make sure to speak into it so we can all hear you. Now, thank you for being here this morning. First, I know that you have had a chance to review the people and places list. And what's that? They gave them some place they shouldn't touch, Dennis? And
So,
were there any people in places that you recognize? Oh, they gave them a list. Okay, I get that. And you can identify them by number, please, because that's just a better way to do it. So do you have a number? Would you like to point to? Juror, yes, I would say, sorry, because I lost my paper. The court, do you see the list there? Juror, yeah, I see it. I got it. 133. I know she's a celebrity. The court, all right. Just stopping there, other than knowing that this individual is a celebrity, do you have any other knowledge of this person? Juror, no. Court, is there any reason why what you know about that person that you think would make you unfair or partial in this case? Who is 133, Dennis? Do you have the list of people or places?
are you talking to me?
Yeah, your name Dennis? Do you
No,
have the
no,
list?
no. I lost sound. I don't
Oh,
have the list. I don't have
you
the
don't have the
list.
list of people and places, so we don't know who's 133 is.
No, I don't have that list. I didn't get the list.
Okay, all right, and we don't. You haven't. You don't have any speculation either about who 133 is on the list. Do you know who
I,
that is?
I don't have it in front of me, Aki, right now. I don't
Okay,
have it.
okay, all right. All right. You think that make you unfair partial in this case? And the juror says no. Court says okay. Juror says, I mean, I know that there's a lot of celebrities here. Other than that, I don't really know much about them. Court. So other general court. Let's take the celebrities for a second. Uh, let's take the celebrities for a second that you identify. Is there anything in terms of your knowledge of those celebrities that you feel like would make it hard for you to be a fair and impartial juror in this case? No, court. So let's put those to the side. Now, you said there wasn't much else. Was there anything else? Juror, no, that's all. That's all it was. Court. Is that true also of the places that are on the list here? Juror, that is correct. Court. Okay, thank you very much. Now, you remember the question that I asked you that I read out in the morning? Juror, yes. Did you have any yes answers to those questions? Juror, I did. Court. Okay. Juror, number one, court. All right. And as to number one, what is it that your answer in what is that answer in your questionnaire? Juror, my comfortability with listening to the victims and listening to what they may have to say about their experience. I have a personal experience. I have a family member who went through something like that. So the court. And do you think you would be unable to sit through the testimony about these issues and speak with fellow jurors about that? Juror, I think so. Yes, court. Okay. Juror, number four. Sorry. The court. Before we move on, would that prevent you from really hearing the evidence in an impartial and fair and balanced way? What? I think he already answered that, Judge. What the fuck you doing? That is when the judge tries to rehabilitate a witness who has already indicated that they can't be rehabilitated.
Mm.
Oh, I need to save this. Let me reduce that. Sorry, that's my recording from my class. Because I don't know why he asked that question again. That would annoy the fuck out of me. Juror, I think so. I think it would.
I don't want to stop you, but why is that important? Let the people know why that is important when they judge.
So yeah, because when a
Rehabilitate.
juror says something like this, so the standard is that the juror needs to be unequivocal about their ability to be fair and impartial, right? And so when someone says, well, I think I can be fair, that is not the level of certainty that we are looking for when we're looking for a juror. So if a juror says that I have this experience that's going to make it difficult for me to listen to the evidence in this case, they are giving you a for cause excuse, right? Because they're basically saying this is going to impact me in a way that I won't be able to be impartial, right? And so they say that I don't think I can be fair, and then the court asked them again. You don't really think, like, what the fuck, man? Why are you asking that again? Because
I
so here's
said
the
what
thing:
I said.
it becomes psychological. Because anyone who understands psychology, you know that if you ask someone a question and they give you a particular answer, if you ask that same question again, it's because you're looking for a different answer,
Right.
right?
As a defense
It's,
attorney sitting on the defense table and you hear that, you would be a little concerned.
I would be concerned. I'm like, Judge, what are you doing? Because that's a for cause, and you might be turning this for cause challenge into a preemptory challenge, which now that affects my ability to get the jury that I so desire, because I've got to use my preempt on a challenge that should have already been excused for cause, right? So for cause challenge means that the juror is unfit for a legal reason. Legally, they have said something or expressed something that indicates that they cannot be fair or impartial, right? And that means that they are not a fit juror. That's a for cause challenge. That's a legal basis. to have them excused, right? And so if you lose a 4-cause challenge and you don't like that juror, you will be forced to use a preemptory challenge. You have unlimited numbers of 4-cause challenges. You have a limited number of preemptory challenges, right? So it's high stakes here because you want to try to preserve your preemptory challenges for the jurors that you know you can absolutely not have on your goddamn trial, right? And you want those 4-cause challenges, you want to be able to use them as because you have unlimited 4-cause challenges. You want all of your excused jurors to be 4-cause, so you can save your peremptories, right? So that's why it's important. Don't be doing that shit. I don't like that shit.
See,
Juror number
the
4.
average person would obviously not pick that up. You picked it up right away.
Well, yeah, I does this. Okay, the court. Before we move on, would that prevent you, this question, from really hearing the evidence in an impartial and fair and balanced way? Juror, I think so. It would make me uncomfortable. The court. Okay. Unless the parties have any different position, I would excuse this juror. That's a for cause, right? So he's excusing the juror for cause. The government. No objection, Your Honor. The court. Thank you so much for coming in today. Juror, thank you. The court. And you can leave the courtroom and head to the jury room. They will give you further instruction. That means beat it. The deputy clerk, I will ask you to hand me the questionnaire and we will discard it. Okay, juror's gone. The court. Courtroom deputy, do we have juror number 5? Juror number 5. Yes, Your Honor. He will be in a moment. Okay, the court right over here to the witness stand. Good morning. Welcome, juror. Your Honor, good morning. The court. Take a seat and speak into the microphone so that we all can hear you. First of all, I know you had a chance to review the list of people and places. Do you know anyone on the list of people and places? So this is going to be the same for every juror, right? Juror, I did not. The court. You did not? Juror, no. The court. No. Now, you remember the questionnaire that I read out in the morning. Juror, yes. Court. Did you have any answers to those questions? Juror, yes. To 4 and 6. 4A and C. I'm sorry. The court. All right. Now, as to 4A, what kind of sexual assault or harassment training have you had? Juror. My employer has us complete annual training like e-learning as to New York state and federal law as it relates to sexual harassment in the workplace. Court. All right. And is there anything in that training that you believe would prevent you from being fair and impartial in this case? Juror, no. The court. And regardless of what you heard in that training concerning the law, can you put that to the side and listen to my instructions on the law in this case? Juror, yes. The court. All right. And you said 4C? Juror, yes. As to 4C, I just wanted to note that I have personal experience seeing psychologists and psychiatrists. I am not educated as one, but I wanted to, to highlight that for the avoidance of doubt, just to make sure that I was being fully transparent with the court. Get rid of this motherfucker now. Get rid of, he got to go. I'm just going to throw that on out there. You don't want this juror. How Dennis going to leave me reading on his show? You see what he did? Y'all see what he did to me? This ain't fair. He got me reading on his show. I'm going to read a couple more, but I ain't about to be up in here all day. Thank you for explaining.
I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you.
Yeah, I'm no bet.
I was trying to get me a drink of water. How about that?
Okay. All right. So this juror, they should excuse. Juror number 5, if he's not going to get excused for cause because he knows what to say, but he's a nut job. I don't mean that in the in my opinion. All right. I don't need these jurors coming after me. But get rid of him. Okay. Are you saying that you have had the services of a psychiatrist or a psychologist yourself? Yes, I have sought the services of a psychiatrist and psychologist myself. That's double crazy. I'm sorry. I know that's judgmental, but listen, when I get on YouTube, I want to act up. Let me act a fool, because I don't get to act a fool nowhere else. I'll be all serious everywhere else.
Well,
Okay.
the judge is probably watching this right now too. But
Hey, Judge. Hey. All right. And the nature of those services that the court is getting this wrong. He's saying he's received these services. From what I just read, the court is asking him about providing the services. Right? That's not right. All right, the court. All right. And the nature of those services that you're provided, or maybe he means you received. Just, he said, is there anything in that you believe, understanding that this case is about, that would prevent you from being fair and impartial? Absolutely not. You definitely don't want him. He wants to be on a jury so bad, right? That he's overstating his ability to be fair and impartial when you say things like absolutely not, when you could just say no. Right? Those are the things that make me want you off my jury, because you came here, you have an agenda. If you want to be on it, it's because you have an agenda. Yo, X, get rid of juror number 5. That's all I would say. That's my peoples. My peoples, you with me where you at? All right. Absolutely not. This is the juror. I do not believe that any of my interactions with psychiatrists or psychologists would prevent me from being fair and impartial to this case. All right. Anything else in terms of your answers? No, Your Honor. Question. Okay. So let's turn to your questionnaire. And I'm going to go to question 7. You indicated in responding to question 7 that you do not, the question asks, do you have any religious, philosophical, or other beliefs that would make you unable to render a verdict in a criminal trial, in a criminal case? And you said yes. Juror, yes. Court, can you explain that? Juror, yes, Your Honor. I wish to note that I have... Get rid of this motherfucker. I wish to note. Who talks like that? I wish to note that I have no objection. This is the juror. I wish to note that I have no objection to the imposition of capital punishment, but I noted in the questionnaire that, as that did not seem to be an issue in this case, that I did not believe that it would prevent me from being a fair and impartial jury. If they don't get rid of this motherfucker, what? 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 Okay. The court. Okay, so other than that specific issue, are there any other reason or belief that would make you unable to render a verdict in this case? Juror, no. There is no other reason or belief outside of that. Outside of the fact that you support the death penalty? That's not an eligible punishment for this case? Okay, court, thank you. Now let's go to question 26. And you indicated that you have learned about the charges brought, the alleged activities, and can you give me just a little detail on what you've heard? Juror, yes. I have seen articles in newspapers and reports on television, news media as to the case that was brought by the United States, as well as some of the allegations that were made. And I suspect also, these news media outlets had gone and done their own reporting and, interview people and the like in concocting their stories, the court. And you also indicate that you saw a video of the defendant that appeared to show physical assault. Sure, yes. On Spectrum One News, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago, it was a video of the defendant allegedly, and I use the term understanding your instructions about the presumption of innocence, allegedly assaulting another person in a hotel. Get rid of this motherfucker. Like, he gotta go fast.
Gotta get stepping.
You usually
gotta
have,
get stepping.
When you do jury selection, you usually have a chart, right? I typically do a little hand-drawn chart which matches whatever the seating arrangement is in the court. That way I can mirror, what jurors I'm talking to. But this juror, I would have a big fucking X next to his name, because he would have to go. This is not someone, if they put him on, this is a sure conviction. This person is going to run this jury. This is one of these runaway jury type people. I've been doing this long enough. You just get a feel for some people. You just get a fucking feel for some of them, you know? All right. All right, I'll finish this juror off and then you can take the rest from there. The court. All right. And you give the sources here, including Spectral News, which I see here. Juror, yes. The court, based on what you have seen and heard, have you formed an opinion about Mr. Combs's guilt or innocence of the crimes charged? Juror, no, Your Honor. How come he didn't say absolutely not then? You didn't say you weren't, you know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here. Nah, I'm not trying to have him just, you gotta go. Okay. No, Your Honor. See, just little shit like that right there. Like, yeah. The court. And can you decide this case based solely on the evidence that is presented at trial? Juror. Yes, Your Honor. The court. And not anything you might have seen outside of the courtroom. Juror. Yes. Blank slate entering this courtroom. Listen, you don't want this guy. This is not the guy you want. He's all blank slate walking to. Nah, B. No. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to text X tonight. I'm gonna text X before I leave. Get rid before I go to bed. Yo, George 5 gotta go. Get rid of him. Okay. He said he could be impartial. The court. You understand that Mr. Combs is presumed innocent? Juror. Yes. He don't have no extra ad-libbing on this. He just, yes. You had 5011 words for every other question. This one you got just yes, no. The court.
He wants to get on the jury.
Yes, he does. And the government must prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Juror. Yes, Your Honor. It's all bland now. Oh, I wish I'd have been able to witness, because you could tell a lot by a person's body language too. The court. Will you be able to follow my instructions on the law, even if they conflict with anything you've heard outside of the courtroom or your personal beliefs? Juror. Yes. The court. Thank you very much. Anything further, Ms. Comey? Ms. Comey, no. Thank you, Your Honor. The court. Anything further, Mr. Agnifilo? Mr. No, thank you, Your Honor. The court. Thank you very much. The juror. Thank you, Your Honor. The court. You can return back to courtroom 26B. Juror not present. Agnifilo, aye. The court. Counsel, just keep in mind that your mics are on. Oh, they probably was whispering all fucking loud. Stupid. Yes, Judge. Thank you. The court. All right.
Said, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Right. The court said, I don't see any grounds for excusing juror number 5 for cause. Anything from the parties? Ms. Comey, no, Your Honor. Mr. Agnifilo, no, Your Honor. The court. As to juror number 6, I understand juror number 6 is now ready to go. So he or she will come in. Juror present. Please come in and just come across. Welcome. Good morning, juror. Good morning. You can take a seat. Thank you. All right. Thank you for being here today. Just make sure you speak into the microphone so we can hear you. Okay. The court. Okay. So first thing, I know you took some time to review the people and places list. Did you recognize any of the people or know any of the places on the list? Juror, no. No, sir. The court. All right. And you remember next question. Thank you. So thank you. Next. I'm sorry, there's no next. There were some questions that I read out from the sequestered questions list. Do you have any questions? Do you have any answers to those questions? Juror, yes, I did. The court, which ones? Juror, number 4. As to number 4, which one? In A, I had HR training and sexual harassment through my employer. The court, let me stop you there. Juror, okay, the court. So is there anything in that HR training that you received would prevent you from being fair and impartial? In this case, no. And to the extent you were trained about the law and what the law required, would you be able to put that out of your mind and listen to my instructions on the law in this case? Yes, of course. The court. All right. Next, juror. Letter F. The court. Law and law enforcement. What kind of law or law enforcement training have you received? Juror. Not me, my son. The court. And what does your son do? Juror. He is currently a law clerk in Connecticut. The court. He's a law clerk for a judge in Connecticut? Yep, judge. The juror. That's right. The court. He went to law school? Juror. He did. Yes, the court. And anything in his legal training that you feel like will prevent you from being fair and impartial here, juror? No, absolutely not. The court. And if you are chosen as a juror in this case, would you be able to make sure that you did not have any conversations with your son concerning this case or anything that you're hearing in the courtroom? Juror, I would make sure, yes. The court. All right. Other than that, any yes answers? Sure or no? That was the only one. The court. Okay. So on your questionnaire, what I would like to ask you about is, do you have your questionnaire? The questionnaire that you filled out last week? Juror, I don't have it. No. The court. That's okay. I've got it right here. Juror. Okay. Good question. So let me go. First of all, you have excellent handwriting. Juror. Really? Thank you. The court. So let's go to the question. Let's go to question 26. And this is, have you before today heard or read or seen anything about Mr. Combs? And you had indicated, I have seen headlines from news reporting, which include a still image from a video of alleged attack on girlfriend. However, I don't usually read the complete articles of any news, just look at the headlines. The fact that you would say that fucking shit out loud in public when you know a lot of people are watching and you have no shame, like, damn, I'm just reading the headlines. I don't really give a fuck what the stories. Come on. I'm telling y'all, this is why this is hard. It is hard. Okay. Okay. The way I leave off, which included a still image, blah, blah, blah. The juror, that's right. Court. And do you remember what that still image was that you were referring to? Juror, it seemed to have been a hotel hallway, and the still image was of a woman on the floor. And can I say Mr. Combs standing? The court. Standing, you said? Juror, yes, the court. And would you be able to, based on that, did you form any opinions to the guilt or innocence of Mr. Combs? Juror, well, I learned not to. I learned. The court. What does that mean? Juror, that everything is alleged and that there needs to be evidence presented. The court. All right. Now, in response to question 27, which is the question I just asked about forming an opinion, what you said was the image could be damning evidence, but of course, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So I just want to inquire as to why you said it could be damning evidence. What did you mean by that? Did you form an opinion that it was damning evidence? Juror, well, it could be if you're just looking at it. And that's why I included that you would need to, that it's alleged that you would need to, see or hear or know of more evidence. Get her out of here. The court. All right. And you understand that in this case, you're going to hear evidence and testimony, and you're going to hear my instructions on the law. Jury, yes. The court. Can you put aside that image and what you've seen outside of the courtroom and decide this case based on what you hear and see in this courtroom alone? Jury, yes. The court. All right. And will anything that you have seen, heard, or read about this case, including that image, prevent you or affect your ability to be fair and impartial? Juror, no. And I haven't read anything about it. So get the fuck out of here. The court. And do you understand Mr. Combs is presumed innocent in all of the charges in this case? Juror, yes, of course. The court. And the government must prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Juror, yes, of course. The court. Will you be able to follow my instructions on the law even if they conflict with your personal views or beliefs? Juror, yes, I will. The court. All right. Ms. Comey, anything further? Mr. Comey, no, Your Honor. The court. Mr. Agnifilo, any questions? Agnifilo, yes, Your Honor. Most respectfully, the court. If you can approach and tell me. See, they don't let us ask shit in federal court. We don't even get to talk to the jurors. It's like, Judge, could you ask this? Could you ask our fucking ass? And the judge might be like, I'm not asking that. And then you just got to take your question on home. Okay, if you can approach and tell me, sidebar, the court. Thank you for that. And so you had a preview of how we handle things in the courtroom during trial. So hopefully that was a little bit interesting. So just one last question. So I know you are sitting here in this courtroom and everyone is kind of looking at you and you want to do the right thing. And I see that. But of course, we're really trying to figure out to make sure we get a jury of people who can be absolutely fair. So in question 27, you had said that the image that you had seen could be damning evidence. And so just being totally honest, why did you say that it could be damning evidence? He already asked her that fucking question. Like, you understand my question? Why did you say it could be damning evidence? Juror, I guess because it was a photograph that appeared. I don't know how else to say it. It didn't seem to be what a person would want to be experiencing. I don't know how else to phrase it. It just doesn't. The court.
She's trying to
Okay.
clean it up.
She got to go. Okay, consistent. Well, let me ask you again. Whatever you thought of that image that you saw, uh, you can put that out of your mind and just decide this case based on the evidence that you see here and the testimony and my instructions. Is that right, juror? Yes, I could. Yes, the court. Thank you very much. Get the fuck out of here. And you can just proceed back through courtroom 26B and courtroom deputy. Should she proceed through the doorway on the right? The deputy, yes, Your Honor, the court. So you can go straight out there. Juror not present in the court. I don't see grounds for excluding that juror. Hold on. Give us a second. The deputy clerk, pardon me, Your Honor, the court. I don't see grounds for excluding that juror for cause, but I will hear Ms. Comey any objection. Ms. Comey, I agree, Your Honor. Of course, they always fucking agree. Mr. Agnifilo, I know she tried to rehabilitate herself. My concern is she used such a definitive phrase in regard to probably the single most important piece of evidence in this case. And it's a piece of evidence that the court has excluded because it was deceptive. Now, she said she saw a still image from it. And I appreciate Your Honor's efforts to try and show that what the court, you don't need to say anything more. I understand what the objection is. So I don't think that there are grounds to exclude this juror. But I understand what you're saying based on the question and answer, that she did use the term damning evidence and she knows what she has to do. But your point is that she might just be incapable of putting that thought out of her head based on what she saw. So I'll exclude juror number 6 for cause. Ms. Comey, Your Honor, I was hoping to be heard in response. Shut the fuck up. But if the court, no, you can be heard. Your Honor, Mr. Agnifilo said she used the definitive phrase. It's quite the opposite. In the question and answer, she said it could be damning evidence. But of course, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's the opposite of definitive. In the questionnaire, she answered question number 30. Yes, question 30 asked whether she could follow the instruction of the court to put anything outside of the courtroom out of her mind and decide the case based only on the evidence. Your Honor asked this juror every which way those same questions over and over again, and she was definitive each time that she could put this out of her mind. And I also want to quibble with something. She said quibble with something Mr. Agnifilo said. He said that CNN video, Your Honor, excluded. That's not exactly right. We decided not to offer it anymore. So Your Honor has not actually made any ruling about the CNN video and whether it's misleading or not. So for all of those reasons, Your Honor, we think this juror can absolutely sit on this jury and be fair and impartial. The court, well, I appreciate that. And as I said, I did not think that at the outset there was grounds to exclude the juror for cause. But Mr. Agnifilo is right. Just as a basic matter, unlike I would say juror number 2, juror number 6, as a basic matter, unlike I would say juror number 2, juror number 6, identify a specific piece of evidence that she believed was damning, and she said that. And we have a number of jurors who do not present these kinds of issues. So in this specific instance, based on the fact really of the questionnaire and for the reasons Mr. Agnifilo said, we're going to excuse that juror for cause. But I do hear you, Ms. Comey, in terms of generally how we need to proceed in terms of these jurors who are going to come in. Because people have seen things, they have read things, they have heard things, and everyone should understand that we're not going to be able to have a jury who has not seen any of the footage. But however, I have reviewed each one of these questionnaires, and this particular issue is not presented as to, I would say, 99% of the jurors that we're going to be speaking to today. So in this specific instance, I think for the reasons stated by Mr. Agnifilo, we'll excuse this juror for cause. All right, now let's go. Juror number 15. And you can pick it up from there. That is page. Hold on, what line is that? Hold on. Line 10. Page 44.
Page 44, line 10.
Yes.
Shout out to Pam in the building.
What's up, Pammy Pam?
I want to put some headphones on real quick.
I'm reading the comment.
Yeah, that the prosecutor, the government's prosecutor. We see how she get down. It's so obvious, but she wants that juror on.
You know, they are so used to getting up and making an argument and having the court just side with them so often that she probably was taken aback when the judge reversed his own ruling, which I love to see, right? That a judge would have the self-awareness to say, you know what, let me rethink that, and not have any, trepidation about changing his mind. That's the sign of a good judge.
Right.
That's the sign of a good judge.
Right? I'm not going to disparage any judge, but in the R. Kelly case, Judge Donnelly would have never went that route.
Yeah, see, that's scary. That if I ever, am in front of a judge who is afraid to revisit, right, his ruling, then I probably would not have a lot of respect for the court.
Mm-hmm.
I would never show it. Obviously, I always have deference to the court. However, when it comes to the level of respect that I'm going to grant a court, it has to be earned. It has to be earned.
This judge does come across to be fair.
He's so far from what I read. Granting for cause challenges on behalf of the defense when the government objects, and winning that's huge. That's huge.
Absolutely. Okay, so 44 line 10. Let me pick up. Sorry here. You need a break? Anyone need a break?
Listen, are you going through the whole thing tonight?
I start this over again tomorrow. I gotta be back in court in the morning.
But here's what I'm just want to say. It is 10:35, Dennis. You are on page 44 of 283.
So the answer is no. I'm not going to do it all tonight.
That's not possible. Ain't no way I can love you if you won't let me. All right.
Well, I tell you what. If I had to go for your reading, your singing, can you start reading some more? No. It sounds good. Listen. Lunch on me this week.
Yeah, we got a link. I gotta get it. My mom is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yes.
What time you getting up in the morning? Because I can call you early.
What's tomorrow?
Tuesday. Day 2
Tuesday.
of jury selection.
Tuesday. I got. You know what I love when I pull up my calendar and it says no events. That's a beautiful fucking thing.
I like that. I like that.
No events.
But what I do want to do is go through as much as I can on day one, because there was a lot that came out today that was very eye-opening in how the lawyers dealt with it. So
for what? So let's get to those parts.
I'm not. We're not doing that. I'm going to read the whole transcript. I don't know what part where it's at on the 283. This is. I'm getting. Don't go nowhere. Do not go nowhere.
I'm about to be on here while you read all these pages of transcript.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna take, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna take a 5-minute comfort break, and then I'll be back.
I'm taking a comfort break. You know, you read too slow for me too, Dennis. I can't do it.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I know,
but transcripts is my thing. That's all that is. But I gotta go because I'm tired.
Well, hold on. I gotta put. Listen, I gotta
a lot of transcript readings for the. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
What's that?
How much? I'm gonna put my.
I like that pertinent.
I'm gonna put my own mod in a time. I'm gonna put my own mod in a timeout.
MMPD said he take us with you. I'm trying to tell Dennis he don't want to listen, but that's fine.
Hold on a second. Let me put her in a timeout. I'm just kidding. I've never put her in a timeout.
Timeout. All right, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Call me in the morning before court.
Okay. Well,
okay.
I'll be outside at 5 a.m.
Yeah, no, I'll be turning to the cool side of a pillow.
All right, Ike, thank you. I appreciate you coming in.
Peace, family. Peace.
Appreciate you. Peace.
Anytime.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So you're stuck with me. So who else is still here tonight? Hold on. Well, listen, we have. Let me see what the numbers looking like right now. Hold on. Just on Twitter, we have 208 people on Twitter. We're not gonna go through the other numbers, but I don't know. Those on Twitter, check in. Cool side of the pillow. Boy, I tell you. All right, let's see what we got. I'm kind of tired myself. I've been up all day, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the good thing is I have the transcripts. So I have them. And I have the daily. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to call it a night. I'll see you guys on the next one. I really will. We got like 200 something more pages to go. But we'll do it tomorrow. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to see you in the morning.